Yeah, you will lay a desire. Then I'd wear drag power. President Gay, via Yatiga, this again. I say, oh, me, I'm right. And by doing you, I'm a part of my trade there. Well, on it goes away. Alas, I will that Gianna, we say you. Papa Mora, get me up when anywhere, Momba Sivole. Sivole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. Puis à quoi ben moi passer so que des du oja. À moi ça il faut. Bien bio. Do ba blé yo ba ko mo nyao. Papa mi guitar, baby, blood of soni. Kaidaka. Bena paya posa gogo mambo panjagu. Apo blo akafwe. Wa posa nyoka fwe. Be afonte mo bandi yo kwa kleju kiyen. Nyonjo si mwen. Poso kata tuyo kwe atinyo di won. Emo o. Nese to kan. Is a book where they have been. Oh, yeah, I can't salute. Post to a gather to your way, I think on the one. More. Nesetoka. Now, with is a book where they have been. Oh, yeah, can you get? Now, conquering your way, and your sound safely. Yeah, I do. Let's do what you just grab the one. There you go. You are now. Taibo Bodaki, and Anna, we say you over. I want to yoke I need a boy. And yes, I'm going to buy the good mwege. Hey, Imo, am I gay? One of what I want, I guess me, I'm done, and in the boy. Oh, ow. Bobo that Giano and we say you will. So I get them for when you never go. Netoni and Rayo. Hey, are you? Obo just say, oh, yeah, I'm a cocky labor. Kaidaka, when it was to work, I go to let you know halfway. I just see how. This is what I say. Taibo, yeah. You like do I them one by one name on the day by Botamu, Tanyada. Planning Papa, Benegasia, Bacao Lage, the Pussy Bo, the PSC baby. The Tonyasi don't you get up one, there's a Bob was a dressy, Mango, Alibo Dakiano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. Say, I just want to lay a bad one out from your city. Okay, wait, Ivo, Saibo Boba. And they get up and look where John Banglo on the Kriana walk like a bad day, Benoit. Joseph was said. So, the one you're naturally thankful to Sule. Say. Bobo that Giano and I will say you over. I'm done it. Where are you? Two away. I know Russell. Gay bear Russell. South Africa, your fault, your way. Thank you for your work and my one. I'm the Pope and Yaguba. Don't feel it. I say, oh, Claudio. Say, back in where we are coming. Say, Bobo that Giano and I will say you over. Aba pepo swelu ninde swelu kwa muzo lumanje dota siko bala Kabo wase pepo swelu muzo bluke Say ya ase baye no Gen one day yeah Your pample your stay mo play now Ariwo ase o baye Amo amora da o Saibo de Giano and I will say you I wish a rule di o baye So, Saibo, 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 that young man that will take you. Mon pop madame le maire, lui dans your man de Jerou. When you know I say, it's a mayo. That was the Yasu also mobile. When you Amora Ginola,
ouais, il a fait une chanson à Mobile Production, voilà. Et Mobile Production, c'est une structure qui est créée pour les jeunes qui sont dans le gaiement, pour les jeunes de l'US et tout. Mobile Production est là pour produire les jeunes talentueux, cachés, que les gens ignorent. Donc notre devoir, c'est de produire des talents cachés. Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Lodé, le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mobile Production, Abia Dia Oboa, Amounia Grand, moi et toi Pierre. Moye, Pierre, moye, moye, Pierre, moye, à toi Pierre Dia Vele, Pierre, moye, ah Pierre, oui. Ndato Pierre se prononcé, à toi Pierre Dia Vele, à Cossiao, moye, Pierre, moye. Bossa bossa iko moye Pierre ji mo were mandoye mo a Pierre ji mo were mandoye mo eh Pierre we bebe ha ji a were Pierre mo moye to Pierre moye to Pierre ji a were ba lo poje yo ji a were so no dunia embe Amado, let's appelé. J'ai mon équipe à yon nez, ma wadia qui va yon nez, j'ai le bonnet na kanyopo. Si à vous tienne, de kanyoue, kanyon de code, c'est pas du pléa. Pierre mon moyen, Pierre mon moyen, Pierre mon moyen, regarde, oh y'a ça. Moye, Tiblo, no pigeon boba, Yeruno. Ma boye blé, Pierre, Pierre, moye, mon blé production. Pierre, mon blé production. Assez au clan, Yahweh a quel amour le côté. Pierre, moye, Pierre, moye. Pierre moye, Ericona, Pierre moye, ah Chalicona, Pierre moye, ah to Pierre moye, die na pa yeble, to Pierre die na pa yeble, ah nie Pierre ah Pierre Pierre moye, Erico jato Pierre Mare bomo jato Pierre Erico de bomo jato Pierre mi amo daka yo jale ko ye nyowo pa opa bla ye de nyani ye ble gba kiten dia o anade bro aja be atia nyoro gba de ke abudi ye ono omono ne ka double ye so bo so mo so ble so danyo passe ble asenyo na ye ta esa ye di bo sanere e to Pierre jawe ke to Pierre point so we ke to Pierre yi wa mo pa kaya no e ka sene la ta ya mo la o siane to Pierre ji agba ire papa ko dia o a to Pierre moye ah tu agba mo e dibe ko agba mo e ah you agba mo e Pierre we ah Pierre you agba mo e Pierre we ah Pierre mo moye o Pierre mo moye Gayo padà wẹ̀ lẹ́bù kan yìí bò. Gayo padà wẹ̀ lẹ́bù kan yìí bò. Ah dídéjì ah dídé wéwé ah mara dídé mẹ́ o àwọ̀. Bùbákàrí tó pé ní tọ́wákè àṣà ọmọdé. Mọ̀nyé yẹ́rù bọ̀ mọ̀nyé Yẹ́rù bọ̀ mọ̀nyé. Piero Momoye, Esse Sonia Routier, Asseo. Mama Saleye, Angela Wene, et Bobo Pambla Bouye, Angela Wene, Nama Bobo Pambla Bouye, Angela Wene. Angela Dieu, Machaba Keyo, Daria Dieu. Moye, Angelo Momoye. Ah oh, Mama Bokebla, Tia, Mama Kebla, where you? Ah, je sais ma Jackie, je sais, Mama, je sais, Tania Kyoto. Manda Nicola, Memotia, Manda Nicola, Tania, Nicola, Yamo, Otuachi, Naipo de Wenge, Blanc, La Chili, Agia, Agaro, Moye, Piero Moye, 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 Piero Moye, Moye, Ale, Moye, Moye.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Librum Pub Radio. We're here again to rock you this evening. We want to welcome all of you that have been listening to Librum Pub Radio. Thank you very much for tuning into Librum Pub Radio this evening. Not that you don't have important things to take care of. However, by just turning into Librum Pub Radio and watching us this evening, we want to thank you very much. We really, really do appreciate you coming and joining us this evening. Our program tonight is going to be a special one, of course, as usual. Every program is special, anyhow. But We will continue to be the voice, even if it's me, just a little voice that continue to preach peace about our country. I will continue to do that. Even if I don't have a viewer, I will continue to preach peace. I'm not going to push the line of conflict. This is not what I'm about. I don't do that, and that's not what I do. Safety, 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 folks. Take care of your car will take care of you. Why do I always talk about car safety? Because think about it. In this country, you can't do the pimping business in Liberia or keke in Liberia. You have a car or you get on the train or the bus. And most of the time, train or bus, they don't come to your house or they're not closer to where you live. You have to find another means of transport to get to those areas where you will be able to have yourself ride a bus or public transportation. So if you have your car and it's taking you to work, make sure the little stuff that need to be taken care of, you take care of those things so your car don't break down on you and slow you down because you have things to do. You're from Liberia, you're Liberian, you're fast moving person. You always want to improve life of yourself or your fellow men. That's who we are. So please, whatever you do, try to take care of your car and your car will take care of you. For example, those of you that in the area East Coast right now, where the snow cold is dominating the whole news casting over there in the East Coast. Now, what do? You take your car in the morning to park when you get to work. Find yourself some old rag towels, old towel that you're not using anymore, and wrap it around your batteries to keep your batteries warm, so that when you're ready to crank it up, the batteries will start without giving you issue. However, once you make sure you put that stuff around your blanket, the blanket around your batteries, make sure you do something to remind yourself. Don't leave those blankets and towels on there to start. You have to remove those things. Okay, because once the engine get hot, clove and things that those are dangerous. Remind yourself, put a note or sticky paper on the windshield or on your on the car seat. Okay, make sure that when you do that, so that you will remind yourself when you get in the car, you say, oh, I have stuff in there, and you remove those things. They're very important that you do so. Okay, safety, safety, safety. Another example, you get out in the morning or you get out before you get in your car, do a visual inspection. Walk around the car to see if you have any kinds of an issue, flat tire or low tire, whatever it is, and you will notice it. Okay, maybe your tail lights broken. You will notice it before the people give you a ticket. Okay, so or even at night, get somebody, your friend or whoever, to get in a car and see whether all of your lights, the tail lights, the brake lights, the headlights, all of those things are working. Okay, because if they're not, and the police notice that you have a defective product, they will pull you over. They might not give you tickets. Some people will give you a warning, but it's just a matter of them pulling you over and you're on record for fixing things. Because if they give you a warning to fix it, they keep you up on record. And if they see you another time and that stuff is not fixed, they give you a ticket and even confiscate your car. It's possible. So I just want to let you know, you take care of these things, the little stuff, so that your time will not be wasted. One last one. Please, please do not drink and drive. Do not drink and drive. This one I got to put myself closer. Whatever you do, do not drink and drive because it doesn't help you at all. If you're drinking and driving, they don't mix. Do not drink and drive. It will waste your time. It might even hurt you or hurt somebody you love or even hurt someone else. Why put yourself through those kinds of stuff? Because drinking is not something that is to say is something that I must have. Those are things you do to pleasurize yourself. Because of pleasure, you're going to go through all of this thing, waste your time, hurt other people, hurt yourself because of something that you obviously have control over. So I'm just throw that in there this evening while I'm ready to get to my show. Like once again, I want to welcome all of you. It's very important that you stay with us this evening. We're going to have to discuss everything Liberia, of course. So thank you again. I really appreciate you guys joining us this evening. Not that you don't have something to do. Most of you have lots. Every one of us have things to do. But when you come to join us to listen to us having a conversation with you guys, it's wonderful. In this situation, people say, "But this is a one-way conversation." What I'm telling you is, I'm sorry about that. However, I'm in the process of trying to upgrade some equipment here that LPR purchased recently, and we're trying to upgrade it so that we will be able to have an audience participation, just like Mr. Soul would do. And once he gets back, we will try to improve on that process. But bear with us. Whatever we do, you can communicate with us by going on the Facebook page and condemn us if you feel like it. Praise God if you feel whatever comes through you. Whatever you want to do, if you want to insult, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to control your behavior. What I say is when you come on my show and say things that are unnecessary, you just put yourself at a ridicule of your fellow men. That's all that I say. I have no control over the behavior of what you do or what you don't do. You're grown up. Even if you're not a grown up, I'm not in the business of trying to police people's behavior. However, I will continue to put forward my own opinions from time to time. This is Samson to LeBron Pub Radio. Come and join me. Let's have fun together. This evening is going to be a very good one, believe me. This is one of those evenings that I just feel that it's in me. It's in me. It's in me, folks. It's in me. And to be honest with you, I just feel that it's in me. Okay, so let me get my camera because my son, his mom kicked him out of my show because I'm not paying him a dollar amount they want. I said, no, I'm not going to pay you. So I'm doing it all by myself because I refuse to pay him. So I'm not going to pay him that kind of money. It's too much money for somebody. I'm buying things for him to go to school and things like that. And then you're going to, because you're doing my show, you want me to pay. I'm not going to pay you. I pay you what I want to pay you. If not, okay, if you think you're worth certain amount of money, that's okay. You and your mom can have that negotiation with me. Your mom is your agent, that's fine. We can have that negotiation until the negotiations is done. I'll do my own show. Sam Sinto, folks. This is what we do here. Thank you, welcome. We appreciate you guys joining us again this evening. Let's start the program on a very serious note. There are things that are going on in Liberia that are not something to sneeze at. These are very important things that is happening in our homeland. And we sometimes, I'm not too sure how is it that we want to say we are enjoying ourselves when our brothers and sisters are having some issues. We don't need that, to be honest with you. We don't need those kinds of stuff. Every day, every time my show time comes on, I will come here and appeal to my brothers and sisters to see reason, to communicate with each other, to see reason, to respect each other, to see reason, to dialogue with each other. Because if this thing is broken, once again, to put those broken pieces together is difficult, number one. And secondly, this time around, God forbid, if we fall back into whatever it is that got us to the place before, it will be very difficult. This time is going to be bad because you have people that are trained at this time. You have people who have had experience in warfare at this time. They were young then, they're much older now. They're still here with us. Okay, so people are still fomenting from a conflict all over their country. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. What is it that people are doing, Dr. Weir and his people are doing, that we can't approach them? And then people argue about Mr. Tor. You can't approach them. They're unapproachable. I said, okay, I understand that. But why can't we try? Why can't we try? Let's continue to talk. Let's continue to talk. The things that are going on in our country, one of these days, somebody, we're all human beings. None of us is infallible. One of these days, somebody would think, say, my right has been abused. I would take law into my own hand. And that's how, it's just a one flash. And things start. So since we are this process right now, let's talk. Let's talk to each other. The insult is too much. It's too much for our little country. Every one of those that are being insulted, they got relatives. Every one of those that are being harassed, they got relatives. And they are Liberian. You can't push them outside of Liberia. These things, when they don't turn out to be good, please. You know, I'm way over here in Sacramento. All my kids, I have one son in Liberia still. But I know if anything, I can tell you, okay, you and your family, you'll find your way somewhere else. I can't do that. And I'm sure every one of you guys in the diaspora have the ability to do that as well. But is that what we're going to be doing every time? Have our relatives run out of their own homes because something that we are unable to control as Liberians, something that we are unable to resolve as Liberians? Do we have to invite foreigners every time to solve our issues? This is ridiculous. Folks, as usual, before I go on my actual topic, I will play it again, Dr. Weir video showing Dr. Weir when he was at during the election. Okay, let me just show you again once more. Dr. Weir during the election, he was, running campaign like any other candidate, but he decided that in order for me to be effective, paraphrasing, assuming, whatever you want to say, because I haven't had a conversation with him for him to tell me that I'm assuming I have the right to do that. You don't have to agree with me. But I'm assuming that during the campaign, he decided, look, in order for me to truly understand the plight of our people, the suffering of our people, I must go into the hinterland. I must go into each of the counties and find out exactly, even if I'm there for 2 hours, I have the ability to observe. And he was able to go to the counties and observe. One of the things he did, and I'm getting ready to show you the video now, he was able to walk in the footstep of his brothers and sisters. How difficult it is to come from one point to another because of bad roads. Let's play it.
And make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. You must hold it straight. You are on the shoulder bar, you must stay. We're going to junior on that before.
No, I beg you.
I'll go.
There you have it. Dr. Weir, during the election, walking, for me, what I consider the first step of his brothers and sisters to find out exactly what are some of the issues, so in case he becomes president, what is he going to do to relieve or to alleviate the issues brothers and sisters are facing. For him, it was roads. And so I thought that I played it, and I'll continue to play it. Now let me demonstrate another aspect of my conversation here this afternoon. As usual, you have to be jealous in life, not destructive jealousies. That's not what I'm talking about. Now, envious of your friend because they have something you don't have it, therefore since you don't have it, they must not have it. That's not what I'm talking about. They have it. They're human beings just like you. What process they went through to get it? Can I go through the same process, or can I improve on whatever they have? That, my mom said, is the good jealousy. And this is what I want us, Liberia, instead of insulting each other, trying to foment conflict, trying to find means to create confusion among ourselves, which will not help us. It's just going to slow us down. Okay? Because let's get this straight. None of us going to stay on earth forever. So the idea is you come, fix it, improve on it, and leave. The next person come, fix it, improve on it, and leave. This is why they call it development. And this is why all of this area that we're visiting, all of the European nation, America, they always fixing things. What's wrong with us? Let's go ahead. Now, the next video that I'm going to be showing you is Ghana. Ghana, and you, all of you, most of you know what Ghana is. Okay, this is not something that you don't know what Ghana is. Most of you were in Ghana anyway. But look at it. Look at what they have in Ghana now. Can we not do the same thing? Samson to LIBERIA Radio.
Afrikiko Junction, Accra, Tema Motorway. Apollo in the Western region. The police is watching you. Over 1,000 of these cameras have been installed at strategic locations across the country. These cameras have made police surveillance more effective and giving a boost to fighting crime. Playbacks have also been very useful. In this particular case, investigation into a road accident.
Good morning, police emergency. How may I assist you?
These cameras are operated from emergency command centers in Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale that are now receiving a record number of calls.
When the call comes in, the system automatically generates a case form.
The case form is meant to solicit the essential information required from the caller. If it is a motor accident, are there any persons injured? If it is a robbery, are the robbers armed? And so on. All calls can be traced to where they are made. In case a call drops, the operator can call back. Once a call is processed, the information is sent to the dispatch section for patrol teams in the field. One challenge are prank calls that divert attention from real emergencies.
Prank calls must stop. In a genuine emergency, we may not be able to access our emergency command center.
Locating crime scenes promptly is another. Many houses and dwellings in Ghana are located on unnamed streets. This is being addressed by the new GPS address system, which is an integral part of the new emergency response system.
This command center is a milestone along the way of the transformational agenda that the Ghana Police Service has launched. The Ghana Police Service, as I speak to you, is about total number strength of 33,000. For the population of Ghana, the minimum strength should have been 56,000. At 33,000, the police to civilian ratio is 1:848, which is far lower than the UN minimum of 1:500. Therefore, the result to the digital intervention is meant to ameliorate or to mitigate the defect or deficiency or the deficit, which stands at 23,000 police personnel. This intervention, which is going to make it easier for the police to monitor crime and make it easier for people in need to get in touch, therefore making it more efficient for them to check crime, it's a welcome intervention.
Africa.
There you have it. That's Ghana. They're not witchcraft. They just decided to do these things because they have the ability to do it. If you have an accident, they have camera all over. They can stay and be able to direct traffic. Now, the camera that you're seeing over here, not necessary, not just for accident, but for example, if the certain area is congested, the traffic not moving, they will be able to somehow send somebody or find means to divert the traffic to some other stuff, find a detour. So you can do something like that. Go and see the traffic situation in Liberia, in Monrovia to be specific. You know, I keep telling you guys. Now let me try it again. In traffic congestion, they have the level of service. They have A, B, C, D. In Liberia, we don't even have D. F, more than that. I mean, if you're coming from EW Junction and going to downtown Monrovia and it's taking you 2 to 3 hours, what kind of traffic is that? Why don't you just go ahead and walk in Liberia? And you have Liberians that have the ability to relieve Liberians of those type of stressful situations. You know how stressful that is? You're going to downtown Monrovia to take care of business, and it's taking you almost 2 hours. What is that? Forget about I call rush traffic. Rush hour traffic. It's ridiculous. So these people were able to put in place a camera all over Ghana, all over Accra. Make sure if there's an accident, how to deal with it. The police will respond because they can see you. If there's a robbery, as you heard, they can see you. That's how you develop the nation. That's how you carry on development. And I told you guys the last time, Dr. Weir and his CDC, they are not able, I don't think they will be able to develop Liberia fully without the involvement of all Liberians. It requires every one of us to contribute in order for Liberia to move forward. Dr. Weir and CDC, they are there to guide. They are there to be the leader. They are the captain of the ship. But every one of us must do our part for that ship to continue to steer the way we want it to go. You can't be going Kepama, then the captain you want to go Kepama, the captain going to be how do you call it, Cape Mao. Who's going to run the ship? Wait till your time. Let the captain captain this ship. If he give whatever route, say I'm taking this route, your job as a citizen of the country, cooperate, and if you cannot cooperate, which you're not forced to do, stay out. If you're going to criticize, you have the right to criticize, but there is no reason why you should try to take the fuel away from the ship so that people will not go because you're not captaining this ship. This, for me, is wrong. Okay? Let's move on. Here is what I'm talking about. Okay? This is another thing here. Another example of Dr. Weir. Okay? Dr. Weir, during the opening of community role, community role, Dr. Weir is taking on the responsibility of a town crier. That's not supposed to be his job. This process, for me, should have been done long before the opening of this, even before the construction. I bet you right now, you go to Doe community and you ask the leadership of that community, let them come and explain to you how this road was built. They won't be able to tell you because they were not part of that process. They were not part of the conversation. They just built a road and said this is no community road, and that's it. What's about the people that live there, the community dwellers themselves? What is their responsibility with respect to the roads? They're human beings. They're going to utilize the facility. Are they supposed to be responsible to maintain it? Are they supposed to be responsible to look after the property that is in their community? What is their own responsibility? But listen to Dr. Weir as he becomes a town crier overnight. This is ridiculous. Let's listen in. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm on it again this evening.
I just want you to make sure that you take care of this road and you keep it clean. Yesterday, I was here. Yesterday, I drove here. I saw most of you people, nobody knew I was in the car. The place was closed and they want to break it, so I passed around. But what I saw yesterday, it should not be happening here. You see, when someone says development, that means you are developing a change from having developed to develop. So what happened yesterday, the garages, car parking, and no access to road here, you need to encourage your people to not park cars in the middle of the road. I was here yesterday. I watched the game that was playing yesterday. I was here. If you noted, there was one Lexus, one black car was on the road yesterday. I was in that car. So you see, I was here, I was in Lokita, I was around. And all of y'all that using bike to survive. I beg y'all, what I noted yesterday, you should not be doing it. Because we'll ask the police, the safety people to make sure that they summon you. What I saw yesterday, motorbike from all over the place, they cannot be in line if they are survivor. If the world gave you what you want in life, make sure you do it well. Yesterday, I had to stop a motorbike right there. They have 4 kids for 1-year-old babies. And the guy in the middle, I had to stop the bike and put the children on my head. You see, so sometimes I say to my head, so God will help us to move. Yesterday, I was not happy yesterday when I came on the community road. Because they park all the keke on the road, people doing garages, and what is wrong. We did not build a road for garage. We build a road so the children can be able to go to school, see the time and go freely. So, if we come back here, the police will be there, anyone. Because of development of brainwave prosperity. Anybody back here, the police will charge you, will pay. So, we go down, let's follow the road. So, I'm happy today.
This is what I'm complaining about. My complaint is about this because this process, what Dr. Weir have just done, and I'll continue to play this video until people who are responsible in Liberia able to follow these kinds of common rules. Okay, you have Dr. Weir, a Satan crier, telling the community why they put the roll on there. That type of process of explaining to the community why the road was needed in the first place, that should have been done long before the opening. Because by doing so, by getting the community involved from stage one, you are empowering the community to understand why this road is necessary for them. In the process, you're also telling the community, take for example, we're giving you roads. We're going to put a road here in Doe community. But the taxpayer money, that money comes all the way from Grangida, from Maryland, from Sino, from River G, from all over the country. That's the people taxpayer money. But we decided you're qualified to have this road because of X, Y, and Z. And since we're giving you this road, based on X, Y, and Z, it is your responsibility to do this, that. You lay out the premise of what the people are supposed to be responsible for. Because if you give them that power to be responsible for something, they feel they are part of the owner of that role. They have the ownership mentality within them. They will be able to do what they can to protect that role to be good. Okay. Here's the other thing that those who are responsible fail to do. Because if you go back to Monrovia right now and ask the people, public work, do they have money to maintain Doe community for maintenance? I don't think they do. They might, but I just don't believe that. Okay. And since you're going to build a road that perhaps do not have money set aside for maintenance, you do what I call front-end loading. You take a lot of money, put it into the project, and make the project durable, make the project stronger, make the project to stand with time, because you don't have money to maintain it. But most of all, and most importantly, if the community dwellers feel that this process, this project belongs to them, they will do everything possible to make sure that road continue to be the road that they have envisioned from day one. How do you get these people to be part of this? And this is what I always tell people. If you're going to do it, they're not engineers. They're not going to design the road for you. But you find out from the community leaders, what are some of the problems here on the road that if we're going to give you a road, what are some of the things you like to see? And if you can do it, they give you those things. If you can do it, you do them. But once they give you suggestions, and they feel that some of their suggestions being implemented into the road building process, they feel part of the road. And they will do everything possible to maintain it. The government doesn't have to come back and try to find money to fix it 2-3 years down the line. You heard what Dr. Weir said. We didn't build a road here for you people to open garage, because he said the day before he went there and saw the people opening garages and things, trying to fix car. The road is not even dedicated yet. People trying to fix car already. Because they don't feel part of the process. They don't feel that road belongs to them. You know, I'll do whatever I want to do. The government will fix it. They think it's other people's property. They think it belongs to other people. And therefore, they're not going to show the interest that it would take for that road to be maintained. This is what I've always preached. Get people involved, and it will be easy to solve problems. You continue to build roads all over Monrovia, and the people don't feel that it is part of them. They feel the government is doing good. The government give us roads. Government give us roads without understanding why the roads are there. They feel government give them. Give? That means if anything wrong, the government will come and fix it because the government give it. But if you get them involved from the beginning and tell them the truth, be truthful with them. We don't have money for maintenance, but we feel, like Dr. Weir said here, we feel you need the road to help your children to go to school without taking their clothes or shoes off in the morning because the place is so wet and the place is so muddy that they have to take out their shoes to go to school. But if you don't maintain this road, if you don't take care of this road, we don't have money to come back here. Once that process keep going from one person to another, they will accept it. And this is what I keep saying to those who are around Dr. Weir. Dr. Weir is a popular person in Liberia. I'm not making it up. He was elected solely, and you can disagree with me, that's fine, but solely based on popularity. Simple as that. But those who are around Dr. Weir should use that popularity for the interest of the Liberian people. What part of it is so difficult? So that is my opening this evening. Let's go now to the main subject matter this evening. Okay. Before I do that, let me go back to the day before yesterday. I believe it was Monday, was holiday here in the United States, Martin Luther King birthday. So I play on my Monday show. I play for you Dr. King at Philadelphia, I believe it was 1963, and when the schools, a specific school in Philadelphia, invited him to give a speech. I want you to listen to the speech. He was talking to the children, the school, the students themselves. But that particular clip, that particular video that I'm going to be playing for you is also applicable to the nation of Liberia. Okay? Listen to this. This is something interesting. Okay? Let's listen.
Our honored, distinguished guest, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Thank you very kindly. Because I have other engagements, I don't have a tradition of being brief all the time. You know, I'm a Baptist preacher, and we can talk a long time. But I'm going to really be brief today. I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now, each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.
And help welcome our honored.
There you have it, Sam Cinto Labrampa Radio. Before I jump into my subject matter here tonight, I thought that I played that. What is in the life blueprint of the Republic of Liberia? It's us, Liberians, we have to plan that. What we're doing to each other, the things that are happening to each other, the thing we're doing to each other, it's not good. Liberia is a country. Each one of us has a stake in our country. Why? Because each of us from different county, and the counties make up the country of the Republic of Liberia. So every one of us have a stake in our country. You start these kinds of conversation. I just put a picture up with Dr. Weir, with Bishop Wackley, I think his name is, and they say he make. I'm not even going to touch this subject matter of what kinds of statement he made. I put his picture up there so that people will see what I'm talking. Why I'm saying this. These are people that are supposed to guide us spiritually, our spiritual life. They're supposed to be people who supposed to guide Liberians. But now he's standing accused that he has stated something that people who do not support this government, God will punish them. I'm not too sure if that statement is correct, because I've been going through all the video tonight. I've not seen it, but I'm not going to quarrel on that either. My point here is this. What really, even if he state that, what was his reason? How did we get there? We're starting again, my brothers and sisters. These are things. Some of us have no Liberian history. Some of us seen Liberian history. Some of us were involved. Personally involved in some of the Liberian history. But what I'm saying here is this. The population of Liberia is very young. Madam Ellen Salive, my opinion now, and I'm entitled to express that, have failed us as the people of the Republic of Liberia. And as a result, we're suffering because of a failure. 12 years failure is giving us a lot of issues right now. And it seems to me we don't know exactly how to handle it, my opinion. When Madam Ellen came in some 12 years ago, for me, Liberia was just starting all over. You would think that these people would try to strengthen the institution that make up the Republic of Liberia, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive, strengthen them so that any other buffoon like Sam Cinto will come and be president and still be able to do well if you have a structure in place. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. For 12 years, the corrupt behavior in our homeland continued to be the top conversation anywhere you go. Talk about Liberia. Because the institution that was set up to deal with corrupt behavior were not strengthened. In fact, if anything, they were set up, but the officials themselves decided to cripple the institution that is set up. So the institution that's supposed to guide us in terms of corrupt behavior, how to deviate those who want to practice that, how to get them to get away from it, the institution is not strengthened enough to carry out that particular process. So here we are. We have Dr. Weir. Our expectation now is that we're hoping that he will be able to put the institution in place, strengthen them, so that the institution will help him try to deal with the corrupt behavior of our brothers and sisters. Now, let me go back to this picture. If what is being attributed to the bishop, if it is true, let's look at the reason. Why would the bishop, who's supposed to be a clergyman, somebody who is spiritually a leader among us, why would he come out to make such a statement? Have we even asked ourselves, even before going around accusing him of blasphemy, whatever it is that we want to say, have we asked ourselves, why would this man, who is a bishop, well respected among his peers, why would he make such a statement? Does it mean he was giving money? Does it mean he has no feeling for other Liberians? Or does it mean that he's supporting a dictatorship? Why would he make such a statement? I'll tell you this. Speculation, that is. I don't care. I'll make that. There must be something that pushed the bishop to make that statement, if he did. Okay? If you have been fathering Liberians on the social media, if you have been fathering Liberians who are opposition to Dr. Weir up to this time, perhaps you will have sympathy on the bishop. Perhaps you will also feel that perhaps the bishop make these kinds of statements out of frustration. Why would you not be frustrated? If we have a young population, and things are not moving in the right direction, why will you not be frustrated? Why will we not be frustrated as Liberians? The population of Liberia is young. Not only is young, you have highly educated Liberians, young as well. Why is it that up to this time the traffic congestion in Monrovia has not been resolved? What's the reason? Are we just prone to corruption? Is that who we are? I told you guys the last time, when I was growing up in Totown was like the capital city for the chiefdom. And the chiefdom had clans. I believe we have 3 or 4 clans. And each one of those clans have towns. But the people go and collect house taxes. $10. And when they're coming from these towns to take it to the clan, they take rocks because they don't have no clerk. The only clerk they have was in Totown, Parliament Chief Clerk. But they come with a rock in a bag. And each one of those rocks has been designated for a specific house. And they put a rock down, they call the person name, and they give the $10 and put it on the rock. And say, yes, they my $10. And put that man rock on top of the $10. And they will count the houses. And they will come up with the exact amount that was collected. Mind you now, some of those that was collecting the money, they do not have money to even buy uniform for their kids. to go to school. But they took the responsibility serious enough not to steal from anybody. They put all that money together and pass it on to the parliament chief, who then said in public. I'm not saying they say as I was growing, I saw it myself. He counts all the money, count the rack matches the dollar amount. He put it together and take it to the district commissioner in Town. What happened after that? They don't care. Now, when I came to Monrovia and saw what Tui Party was doing, I started associating the dollars, the money that was collected from all of the clans in the BI chieftain area. I started seeing that these people were supporting their own selves, while the children of those who were paying the taxes were not benefiting from the taxes. These are some of the things that got us to where we are today. We're trying to do the same thing again. Dr. Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia. If I was in Liberia and have the opportunity to vote, I wasn't going to vote for Dr. Weah and CDC, but for goodness sake, Dr. Weah was elected by our brothers and sisters. We must give him that respect. We must allow Dr. Weah to lead us. We can oppose to his policy. We can oppose to whatever it is that he's doing that we don't like. We have to express it. But we must do so with responsibilities. Because of all of those things lacking, Liberian criticizing without being responsible in their criticism. Liberian insulting each other on the social media without responsibility to the credibility of themselves. Perhaps got the bishop to be frustrated and come up with these kinds of statements that is being attributed to him. I keep asking all of us, you have the right to criticize. You have the right to criticize, but you must be responsible in your criticism. I'll give you an example. If I say here on the social media, I got people, how many people watching 29, watching now, other people making comment, and I come out here and say, Dr. We have stole dollars, he stole money. I must be able to present at least some evidence. Not because I got people watching me, therefore I should make that kind of pronouncement without producing any evidence. What am I doing? The 29 that I see here watching, how sure am I that these are all Liberians? So if you're going to make these kinds of pronouncements about somebody stealing, you must be able to prove a little bit. It is not all literally to say this person did this without any shred of evidence. Being the president of the Republic of Liberia does not mean that this person is now open to insult. Being the president of the Republic of Liberia does not negate the fact that he is also a human being like any one of us. So if the bishop make a statement to say, if you don't support, when your time comes, nobody will support you. What is that? We have to be careful. We saw it in Monrovia. We have Mother Dukley. Every Sunday morning or Sunday will come on air and criticize and say things. Funny thing was, Mother Dukley comes on and say X, Y, and Z that's happening in this country, and I don't think this is what the citizen would prefer. At night, Dr. Tuber, President of the Republic of Liberia, also a minister, will get on the pulpit and start preaching. Okay, so some of us had the opportunity through their preaching. You can see which way Liberia was heading. Folks, we have to be careful. The sophistication level of our young people nowadays is high. You cannot afford to mix up. You cannot afford to start anything in our country if we don't try to get hold of ourselves and continue with these rumors, people doing this, people doing that. If anything happen, what will happen again? Our brothers and sisters will have to leave again, go to other people's country. You think Ghanaians will have their aim? After I just show you the video of the improvement of Ghana, of the development of Ghana, Ivory Coast, you think they will open their arms again for you to come flood in there, running in there after they finish developing their country? This time around, they might not even allow some of you to come to the city. They'll keep you far off because they're bound by Geneva Agreement of refugee. So they have to let you in. But is that what we're going to be doing every time? Folks, these are things that if we're not careful, we might repeat ourselves. People who don't pay attention to history most likely will repeat the history itself. Why? Why do we have to go through that? Is it we do not have the ability to understand? Is it we do not have the ability to talk to each other, to engage each other? So if I'm going to criticize, I must be responsible in my criticism. I'll give you an example. I come out here on Monday. I was criticizing Minister of Public Work with the kinds of drawing that they were doing. And I was able to explain, for those of you that are not engineers, to understand why I'm criticizing these particular drawings. Because they were not up to standard, and I was able to prove myself. However, I was also responsible in my criticism by admitting that these brothers and sisters in Liberia are operating on an extreme position, a extreme condition that perhaps I might not be able to freely operate. But as an engineer, when I see these kinds of things, it's bound on me to make these kinds of comments. And hopefully people will listen and try to correct those things. That was the reason. But if we're going to sit here and insult people, cause people mad, is that what we do as Liberians? Causing people mad? Since when have we done? I mean, you can say, well, during the war, Liberians were killing each other, so maybe it's still okay. I agree, that's fine. But when do we graduate from those kinds of behavior and put ourselves in a civilized realm? These are things that cause us problems. Folks, we must do everything possible to stop these kinds of behavior. Okay? Because they're not going to help us. I'll just show you. Let me show you another one. Okay? This one is about the House of Representatives. As you can see there, a divided house. That's a question. The House of Representatives decided they're going to investigate their own. I mean, not them, but the Ministry of Justice decided they're going to investigate a member of the House. It's stated in the Constitution, I'm not too sure if the Constitution applied to this, but it stated that a member of the House cannot be investigated, cannot be prosecuted solely based on their own view as it relates to House representative issues or lawmaking process. So I'm not too sure if he can claim that. But if you read that, the story was Koluba, I think his name is. He complained that people are trying to hurt him, trying to kill him, or whatever it is. But they're saying the speaker decided to sweep, to put his complaint aside and decided to pick up the complaint from the Justice Department, from the Justice Ministry. So people, my own friend, another good friend of mine, he's involved. I'm not going to call his name. Okay? These are things that will not help us. This man is young. Why are we doing this thing to ourselves? Madam Sally came in for 12 years, didn't give us structure, didn't put us on a footing where, like I said, dumb person like me can come and be a president with no issue. You can bring somebody with PhD, WD, EED, whatever you want to call it. They come and be president of the Republic. They will find it difficult to move that country because there's no structure. The institution that's supposed to guide whoever the leader is supposed to be, the institution are not strengthened by us. We talk about 16 billion Liberian dollars. How long ago now? 16 billion Liberian dollars. How long ago? Up to this time, I don't know what happened. If that kind of thing have happened in any other country where the institution are strengthened, where the institution can stand by themselves and able to operate without the influence of those who are supposed to be the head of the institution, by this time we will find out what happened. But you have finance minister saying one thing, the information minister saying another thing, and then the newspaper come out and say something different. Who do we to believe now? Because the institution that's supposed to guide us are not strengthened. And so as long as the institutions are not there to do their work, Liberians will improvise. And the improvising process become rumors. Somebody stole this. Somebody stole that. Because they don't have proof. So why would you also try to fault Liberians? The representative, if you've been following him, he has been, there's no secret his content, discontent or whatever it is against the president. He always believed that the president is a dictator. He's already made that comment. It is upon Dr. Weah and his people, because he's a representative. You don't have to please him. You don't have to please him. But let your action show to whoever that trying to believe in that this young man is not quite correct in his pronouncement. We don't have that. We don't have that. We have this representative. He was supposed to have a party for the children the other day. Some other people went there and disturbed him. He accused the president of being responsible. And now the Justice Department is investigating, and they want him to cooperate. He's a sitting representative. Why Justice Department to investigate a sitting representative? Justice Department is such another branch, co-equal branch, legislature and executive. Now you're telling the executive to go investigate, like the member of the legislature, unless he is corrupt. But a case like this, I believe the House of Representatives should have set out a committee to investigate their own. And if they find that this man has violated somebody's constitutional right, then they pass the process on to the executive, where the executive will ask the Justice Department to look into it. But now it's the other way around. So why, if the Justice Department decided they look in and find that this man is guilty, then is that when they're going to go to the representative and say, okay, your man will find guilty, you're due with him? Why do we do these things by court all the time and we expect to move forward? We're hurting ourselves. Let me show you another video. not video, but a picture. Okay, these are things that continue to harm all of us. All of us. Look at this other video. I mean, other picture that I'm going to show you if I can get to that. Okay. All right. Look where this representative. Look who he's standing with. Kali, who quite recently is a university student, a leader of the student party, or the leader of a movement. Okay, he has the representative aligned himself with the student movement. Folks, we got to be careful. Majority of Liberia are just the same age as the student leader himself. So what make you think that their way of thinking is going to be different from the student leader? We cannot afford to have these kinds of things happening. We have to be very careful. Okay? Okay? So once again, yes, the justice, the student leader, this guy, the Justice Department said they're going to investigate him. On a what ground? I don't know. Because he said that the police director told him that the president explained to him that he not to arrest anybody but only his people. Is that what you're going to investigate him? If he's lying, if the representative member of the legislature is lying, let his peers judge him, and if they find him guilty, they turn it over to the Justice Department. I believe that's how it's supposed to work. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a lawyer. But before I move on to my actual program here tonight, basically what I want to say to you, the heat that we're turning on in the public arena, specifically the social media, is too much. It's too much. And it's hurting us. It's hurting us. You heard what the man said? If we, as Liberians, telling foreigners not to invest in our country, who are we hurting? And that's the same question the bishop asked. Do you think if no food in this country, he says, according to what I read, you think Dr. Weah and people going to go hungry? No. It is the same poor people that you're trying to advocate for will be hungry. So what do we do? You ask, Mr. To, does it mean we should let them do whatever they want to do? No, that's not the point that I'm making. That's not what I'm even suggesting. Okay? What I'm suggesting to you is that we have to temper down our criticism. We have to make sure when we're talking to each other, we must respect each other. We cannot just talk past each other. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. As a result, you will always have Ghanaians, Nigerians, Sierra Leone to come in Liberia and run our affair. You will have Lebanese to be construction manager for us because we're not together. We're always seeing somebody stealing from us. And so the foreigner comes in and take the money. Not illegally, they get paid, but they're not going to invest in Liberia. Ghana may come to Liberia, you pay, you take the money back to Ghana to invest in Ghana. You're going to build a house in Ghana. You're not going to build a house in Liberia. The money coming from Liberia. Why can't we empower Liberians so that they will do the kinds of work the Ghanaians are doing? They will do the kinds of work the Nigerians. I have nothing against any of them. But for goodness sake, why is it that we're not able to empower Liberians to do these kinds of work and be able to move the country forward? Folks, this is Samson Toll, Liberia Pub Radio. I'm watching. Mr. Jackson, Emmanuel Jackson, thank you for joining us tonight, my brother. Thank you very much. I met this man one time here, I believe it was at a funeral, And he said, I was watching you from Boston. Mr. Jackson, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. All of you, for all of you guys, we say thank you very much for we say thank you very much. We appreciate you guys watching. Now let me go on to what I want to talk about here tonight. Okay. And what I really want to talk about tonight, of course, in the next 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, it's about roles. Okay. I was here the other day and I show you uh, um, some road that were designed by our Ghanaians brother that they hired to do some work, and I also show you some of the road process they draw in detail, the blueprint, as Dr. Martin Luther King would say, blueprint that the contractor supposed to follow, provided the blueprint provided by the public work of the public garbage. And that process, that blueprint, it's ridiculous. So if you have a contractor to follow that blueprint, you're asking for trouble. I also told you that why Dr. Weir idea of building road is a nifty one, it's a very good one. The process itself is flawed. How can you build a road in the rainy season and you expect the road to last? No, it won't. Because you got water and asphalt don't mix, water and gravel don't mix, water and nothing that you dig up mix. So how you gonna expect the road to last? That was my criticism. Okay, but I will show you again. I will show you this time around. Let me show you. Let me go to Google Map. Go to Google. What do you call it? Okay, let's go to Google Earth and go travel to Liberia. You will enjoy it. This is what I do sometimes when I'm at work on my lunch break. I use Google Map and travel from Monrovia all the way to Toad Town. Stay with me. Watch this. Watch this. You will truly enjoy it. It's a very nifty. If you have a Google Earth loaded on your stuff, you will enjoy it. But this is some of the things. This is Google Earth here, by the way. This is some of the things I thought perhaps. These are some of the things that I'm talking about when I'm talking about building institution. Here in the United States, if you go to any city, okay, I'll show you. I'll show you quickly. Then I can go to Liberia. Let's go. Let's. In fact, let me show you one of my projects that I just did here recently. Okay, here in California. Okay, and my computer is a little bit slow here, but let me just show you one of the projects that I just did recently. Okay, it's way out here. Okay, and okay, that's Clear Lake. Okay, there's a Ukiah. All right. Okay, so Ukiah 250. Okay, 253. And I believe this most likely is the place. Let's see. Because I do remember. Okay. No. Okay. All right. Right here. Right here. Okay. This area, they had a mudslide. Okay. And I have to go in there and work on there. Okay. And you can see the wall that was recently put in. There's a wall here now that was recently put in on here. Okay. But you can't you see the white spot here. Okay. Okay, that's the project that I just. But what I want to show you is I can take this man and go straight on this road, and you will see. You see the highway? Watch this. You see the highway? Okay. So this road, I can travel from here, from this point all the way to Sacramento, which is about 2 hours or so drive, 2 to 3 hours drive. Okay. But the point that I'm trying to make here, you can't do these kinds of stuff in Liberia. Now let's go to Liberia. Let's go to Liberia and see. I just show you here now. Let's go to Liberia. Okay. let's go to LIBERIA and see if we can do anything on it. This computer is kind of slow here this evening. Okay, but again, when I get to Monrovia, okay, I'm gonna show you. When you get to Monrovia, you will not be able to do any kinds of how do you call it? You will not be able to do anything in Monrovia. You're not gonna be able to drive. I know those kinds of stuff. Now, when I'm talking about institution building, you will expect that a new government coming in will try to contract with Google because the place, the map is already there. You can do a lot of stuff from Google Earth as a designer. Okay? It doesn't take much. You pay a certain amount of money. I'm not too sure what it is. But once that money is paid, Google Earth will allow you to be able to see the area that you have interest in clearly. Okay, I just told you. All right. Now, if you do that, if you're in Liberia, let's go. Let's go now and see if we can once again see Google Earth. Okay, here's Google Earth once again. All right. You see Liberia right there. All right. So no, let me zoom a little bit so you see. You see Liberia. Okay, watch. You see Liberia? Okay, now let's go to Monrovia. Let's go to Monrovia. These are things that you can do. Okay? Monrovia. Let's go to Monrovia. Okay, we're in Monrovia. Okay. Alright. So, okay. This is Monrovia. Okay. You see, okay. This is Monrovia. Where you can go. And if you have a contract with them, you can clearly see all of the place. You see the bridge here? Okay. This is the Waterside Bridge. This is the Gabriel Tucker Bridge right there. Okay. But you cannot put a man here to be able to see it. No. You see it? This thing it's not turning. You can't see the man. You can't put a man there. So the only thing you can do is go a little bit lower. Okay. Now let's go now as we try to travel from Monrovia on this is Tottenham Boulevard. You see it? Tottenham Boulevard. Okay. This is Tottenham Boulevard. So folks, just bear with me 1 minute, please. Let me see. I think my station manager is calling me. So just bear with me. I will be right back. Samson to LIBERIA Pub Radio. We'll be right back. Why? Maybe I'm not. I can hear myself, so I'm not too sure why is he calling me. Usually he will call me when I'm having issues. So let's see where is he calling me. I hope. So that's it. Bear with me, folks. That's the station manager. He just called me to complain that these guys are watching me. If I make one mistake, I'm done. Okay. So once again, let's go back to the Google Earth. Okay. Now here is the Google Earth. He said he can't see. I think he should be able to see it now. Okay. This is Google Earth. Okay. This is Tottenham Boulevard. Okay. All right. So this is Tottenham Boulevard. Let's zoom in some more. This is Tottenham Boulevard. I think you should be able to see. Okay, that's how far you can go. The point that I'm making here, when you do this is Monrovia, by the way. This is Monrovia. You see what it say here, Tottenham Boulevard? Okay. So if the government contract with Google Earth, you should be able to zoom in clearly and be able to do some design from this from Google Earth. Okay, this is what we do here. Sometimes you don't want to go out in the field. You take Google Earth and go through it. So let's go through Okay, this is Tottenham Boulevard. Okay, this is what 10th Street here. All right, this is Monrovia. This is Monrovia, folks. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is Monrovia Cinco area. Okay, let's go to okay, this is FE. Am I making it up, folks? You see how the long FE the strip? This is FE. This is the strip in Cinco. You see it? Okay, so once again, you go through like this. Okay, so but what I want to show you once again is some street here. Okay, okay. So let's go to uh, this is the Congo Town split. Okay. All right. So let's go. Let's go. Tottenham Boulevard. This is the area I want to show you. Okay. SKD Boulevard. Okay. I was here the last time. I want to show you again. SKD Boulevard. But this time I want to show you live so you can see. This is SKD Boulevard. Okay. SKD Boulevard is a funny place. You see in the middle here, this is a police house in the middle of the street. Okay, but look at the traffic congestion here. Everybody that going towards EW Junction. Okay, you're supposed to have 2 lanes going, 2 lanes coming. But look at this. If you were to be clear and see, you will see the 3 lanes that are going towards Monrovia. People have used the other 2 lanes that are going to EW Junction. They use one of that lane to be lane going to Monrovia. Illegal. But here's the police right here. SKD Boulevard. You see it? This is SKD Boulevard. Okay. All right. So let's look at EW Junction. Okay. This is EW Junction. And I was there when they poured this overcrossing. They connect one building to another. I was there when they poured the concrete. In fact, I believe I worked on that night. Okay, but here's EW Junction. This is what I'm talking about. This particular EW Junction, they consider it to be roundabout. This is not roundabout, to be honest with you. Okay. I'm sneezing. Excuse me. Okay. But they think this is a roundabout. You come from EW, you're going straight, they call it AB Tower Road. I think it's the AB Tower Road. Okay. Then you have Tottenham Boulevard, then you have EW Junction. Okay. Why is it that this Y place here, why they couldn't put some sort of how do you call it, roundabout, a true roundabout? Instead, they have this 2x4, I call it 2x4 roundabout, that has nothing that will help you with traffic. Okay, nothing. Okay, yeah, it's roundabout. Yeah, it's roundabout. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look at it. I don't know why I'm saying 2x4 that's speaking Liberian English. But this particular junction here, if you come in and put this type, you see this junction I just showed you, right? This junction that I'm showing you. Okay, I want you to look at it again. You see the junction that I'm just showing you? Let me blow it out a little bit so you can see. Okay, this particular junction that I'm showing, if you decided to say, okay, we want to do something nifty in a place here, you can come out this junction that I just showed you. You can come out and put this other one on there, this roundabout. Okay, this roundabout, you can put it on there. All right, you see it? See the roundabout? Okay, you got, for example, now EW Junction, bottom of the TV, AB Tower on top of the TV, Tottenham Boulevard going to Kakata on your right hand side, Tottenham Boulevard going to Monrovia on your on your left hand side. But here's the interesting thing here. People that are coming from Kakata, when they get to the junction, okay, when they get to the junction and they want to go to ERWA, they will have to make this roundabout. They will have to run into a curve like a circle. They go around like people dancing circle. Liberians, when we're dancing, and we're always dancing in a circle. How many times you see you dancing in a circle, and when you want to get out, you can't get out because it's a circle. As people dancing, you get out, people join anytime. It's the same thing here. These people here, if they decided, you know what, I'm going back to Kagata. This car that coming from the right side. If he say I'm going back to Kagata, he will have to follow that circle and until he find his position to get out. Okay? He will go back to Kagata just by following the circle. These are common things, common stuff that we can do. Okay? Now, let's go back to ERWA Junction. Okay? Let's go back to it. Look at this junction here. If the person coming from ERWA and want to go to Monrovia, he's going to go in the middle and wait in the middle until somebody get his chance to go by. You know how long you're gonna stay there? How many people in Liberia will get you chance for you to turn? You gotta force your way through. Okay? And those are the kinds of stuff that people can do. These things are done every time, all over the world. Some of us are involved. I've done runabout before. So it's not that difficult to do. But you must have a design tool that will allow you to do these things. And this is what I'm talking about, that public work in the Republic of Liberia. They have to improve the lives of the people. Okay? Look at these kinds of you're coming from ERWA Junction and you're going to Monrovia. You got to make a left turn. Okay, now look at this roundabout again. Look at it roundabout. You're coming from ERWA Junction. You're going to Monrovia. You see the how do you call it, concrete block here? You can't turn. You have to follow the circle until you get back to Monrovia to go. You get back on Tottenham Boulevard. You're going to make like a circle, okay? You're going to make like a circle and turn until you get on Tottenham Boulevard, okay? The people, they don't necessarily have to wait for you. It's a circle. People can get in that circle. Car can get in and move around. You get to your spot, you get out. You stay. You can't make a left turn. Just like that, you got to go through the circle. You can get from ERWA, make a right turn and go to Kagata. If you're coming from Kagata, you can't just make a left turn. You got to follow the circle until ERWA Road is open. Then you get in there and go to ERWA Road. If you come from ERWA, you go into Monrovia, you go in the circle until Tottenham Boulevard comes in view. You get in Tottenham Boulevard and go. It's easy. But you will not find any kinds of traffic congestion. Folks, this is things that we can do. Liberians have the ability to do these things. Okay? So I'm just showing you something. Another thing here. Another thing. This is Samson told Liberian Public Radio. Okay? You can, if you don't want to go through this roundabout, okay, you can do what they call grade separation. And that, folks, will be my next show, where I will show you how to do, not to show you how to do it, but I will show you how grade separation can help this intersection. This roundabout here is one of the things people use nowadays to control traffic. Now, let me tell you again, as a designer, one of the things, the objective as a designer, you try to achieve in any of your design is to control the driver behavior. And that's why you put those type of stuff down. You make that roundabout a point, because think about it. You're not slowing down, but he can't speed either because you're controlling the speed. If the man speed, he's going to flip over. So once he can't stop. It's no stopping. He gets in there and get in line, and the people do the circle. When we're dancing as Liberian, don't we dance in circle? You not see somebody dancing in circle, and then you fall down. You dance in circle. When you tired, you get up. The dance still going on. Anybody can come and join that circle to dance. It's the same thing here. But these are things Liberian can do. Now, interesting now. How is it you think we can achieve these kinds of stuff if we continue to insult each other? How can we achieve these things for our brothers and sisters if we continue to criticize without responsibilities? We call ourselves educated people, but we criticize with nothing that have to do with being responsible, because we're opposition. And I told you guys before, and I'll continue to say, Dr. Weir and his people are human beings like any one of us. If I government official, you can cost me, but you cost my man, you myself going to downwater side, we're going to throw with tea. You cost my man, you myself going to throw. I don't care what our president, I take out the president jacket. You myself going to meet, you cost my man, you get away free. No, I will look for you. You myself will throw. You will be me. Are you kidding me? Because president, I'm going to sit down there for you to cost me? Because you can cost me. I'm your president. But what my man got to do it? For what reason that we have to bring ourselves to these kinds of level? For what reason? Politics? How are we going to achieve the developmental agenda that Dr. Weir and his people said? What can we give them the opportunity for them to fail? They came up with the loan from the Chinese. It didn't happen. And thank God, Front Page Africa and the other the two twins, every one of them was investigating. I still believe that they did not do it because of jealousy. They were concerned about Liberia. And I think Dr. Weir and his people find that out, and they believe what his brother was doing. They say, okay, you don't hear about it knowing it. They talk about the other guy from Burkina Faso. I was on here playing music, his music, praising Dr. Weir and a guy from Burkina Faso. They find out that the money they're talking about, most likely they're not going to be able to get it. It didn't work. I'm not faulting the opposition for that, but at what point that we're going to work together and achieve a unity goal for all of us? If we can't do it, we're not going to make it. Something too. I come from work, doing from engineer job. I'm on my show. I talk with Big Mouth. I come and close the show. Friday, I come by again and do the same thing. Nathaniel Cry, Paul, and Alfonso, they're not paying me. They refuse to pay me. But I come and do my job. From here, I close my store. I go to work. In the morning, I go to work and do my work. We still got the intersection that I show you. The AB Tower, ERW, and Tottenham Boulevard intersection I show you is still there. It's not changing. The condition in Liberia it's not being improved. But we continue to insult each other, and we expect things to move up. What is our own responsibility as citizens in the Republic of Liberia? How do we, as citizens of Liberia, are responsible for the development of Liberia? Because we do not like those who are bringing the developmental agenda forward. And therefore, even if the developmental agenda if it's good, but the fact that certain people we don't like are carrying on that process, we're not going to support it, then that's wrong. That's wrong. If you're going to criticize the developmental agenda itself, show us what within the developmental agenda that is not correct. We come out, we accuse those people. You're stealing. Now, mind you, now I'm not saying you don't have the right. You have the right to say it. But I don't have no proof. I can't accuse anybody if I don't have proof. I can't just assume. Yeah, you can say, Mr. Toll, you can read a newspaper. Yeah, I can read a newspaper. The newspaper is also written by human beings. So if I come out here for people to watch me and make some pronouncement, I must do it with responsibility. So this is what I'm saying. All of these things that I just showed you here, they're all over the country, all over the world. I can go to some part in Philadelphia. They got roundabout. I can go to New England in Providence and show you right here on Google Earth and show you roundabout. Okay. You go to Paris, they have roundabout. What even in Burkina Faso they got roundabout. Why we can't do the same thing in Liberia? We have engineers, but we continue to insult people, insult each other because we don't agree with their views. I say something because you don't agree with what I'm saying, so then that gives you the right to insult me. What can you say I don't agree with you? You must insult me so that I will listen to you. Because if you insult me, the conversation is over. I have nothing else to talk to you about. Because you're not quite ready to have a discussion. So do you blame Dr. Weir and his people if they're not even engaged in some of the politicians, some of the opposition? Folks, this is Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening. I agree with you, my brother. I agree with you. Corruption is, but then again, who are we? Those that are carrying on the corruption in Liberia, they are Liberians just like us. Just like us. Once again, if the institution, this is what I continue to talk about institution. If the institution are strengthened by the leadership, those institutions will help the government in the fight against corruption. I'll give you an example. When John Mulu went to Liberia to work with Madame Salif, he didn't pull punches. He said Madame Salif government was the most corrupt government that he has ever seen. But he would do what he can to work with it. When the time came for his whatever to be renewed, they didn't. Why? You would think Madame Salif would keep young men like that, somebody who would make that kinds of pronouncement and have evidence to show that people were stealing money. You will keep him to help you police the Liberian people that are working for you. But no, you kick him out. When they kick him, what happened? Those times, I think you can go to Liberian, State Department Liberian report, human rights report. It's in there. So that's the thing that I'm talking about. Anyway, it's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll be back again. Once again, folks, I will ask you to please keep our brother, Mr. So, and his family in your prayer. Mr. So is in Liberia right now. In fact, he posted something today. But before let me say this, then I'll tell you. He posted something where he will be doing a lot of interview after the burial of his brother. He's in Liberia to help his mom bury his brother, and so they're going through a lot right now. Let's keep those brothers, the brother and the family. Let's keep them in our prayers and hope that everything will be well, so that he'll be back here and carry on as member of the Liberian Public Radio family. Having said that, let me say this. So earlier today, Mr. So, I call him Bloku. He says, that's my name, Bloku. There, he's speaking about the devil. Somebody have just asked for me. So he said, oh, the people just asked for you. Then he was telling the people, he said, yeah, man, your eyes were something too. Eh? The man Nathaniel myself been trying to kick him out of LPI. He refused. The old man refused to go. Nathaniel don't want him. I don't want him. But he refused to go. We fire him, he come back. We fire him, he come back. So they want to say, oh, but maybe you're not firing. You're not firing him. He said, no, we're firing. You know how many times they fire me a week? As soon as he come back from Liberia, the first thing they will say, yeah, Nathaniel, they will get together. They fire me. They not fire me over and over. Just if I bet you, Nathaniel did not pick up Nathaniel call here a few minutes ago. He called me because he couldn't see Google Earth on his monitor. So he called me. What happened? Google Earth, you talk about it and we can't see it. He keeping record. Before the end of the week, if I'm also gonna call from Liberia, you fire. This is Sam Center, Liberia Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. I'll play two music for you. One is not video, and then after that I will play another. The other one I will play will be a video. It's it's a good time. Just 9 o'clock on the East Coast, I believe. Almost 10 o'clock. Almost 10 o'clock, folks. But okay, the other one is it's gonna be video, and this video that I will play is from the Benin area. Benin. The reason why I continue to do it because Benin, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most democratic nation in West Africa. So I'll play that. But before I do that, though, let me do this. Let me play this. Folks, it's been a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. We want to thank all of you again for listening and tuning in this evening. All we try to do here is not to degrade, but I'm trying to say it to my brothers and sisters. We can't get anywhere if we're fighting among ourselves. If you're going to criticize, you must do so with responsibilities. If you're going to accuse somebody of stealing, you must do so with responsibility. In other words, you don't necessarily have to have a proof or in hand, but at least give your audience, give those that you're talking to, give them something they can put their hat on. But you can't just say, you know what, the people used to steal, they're still stealing. You can't do those kinds of stuff in this type of day and age where you have internet, the social media is all over this place. You can't just get up and accuse somebody's child of doing something that perhaps you don't have proof of. That's all that I'm saying. You have the right to accuse. You have the right to do whatever you want to do. You have the right to say whatever you want to say. But if you're doing and saying is hurting other brothers and sisters, then you must reconsider your behavior because your behavior is hurting not just you. You have the right, but your right is also infringing on the right of others. You have to consider other people's right as well. You're not the only person in the room. So that's what I'm saying. Samson told Labrador. Let me play this for you. Good night, folks. Come back Friday and we'll give you more. Samson told. I gotta come back. I just talked about him. He said he gonna fire me. Now he watching from Monrovia. I'm in big trouble, folks. Mr. So, you're the good CEO. You're the best. Welcome. I love you. This is somebody who's fighting for his job right now. Mr. So, you're such a good person. My goodness, we miss you. Folks, I'm fighting for my job. Sam says, I just share that with you. Thank you, Mr. So welcome. We'll continue to pray for you, my brother. We hope everything is okay with you as well. We know you're going through a lot right now, but we pray that everything will go well for you. So we're waiting for you. Once you get back, we'll be ready and to receive you. Whatever you can do for us over there, we appreciate it. So, folks, let me go back to my video. Thank you very much. Good night, folks.